This is a slight variation on what's in the bag. This is what's in the mobility bag. So I'm just going to take you through some of the stuff that I've got in my mobility bag, some of the equipment that I use to do my mobility stuff, and some of the stuff that I use to do the kind of the 10-minute mobility videos on YouTube. I'll go through each bit of equipment, tell you what it's used for, tell you what to look for in a good one and a bad one, and also let you know if it is worth getting one and how useful that can be for you on your mobility work. So I'm actually going to start with something that didn't fit in the bag, so it kind of ruins it from the start, but it's probably one of the most important things, and that is a mat. There is no way you're going to be willing to do your mobility work if you don't have something comfortable to do it on. There's nothing worse than sitting down on a cold, hard floor first thing in the morning to start doing some mobility work, and you just get uncomfortable, your bum hurts, your back hurts, your head hurts. If you can get yourself a good quality mat, which is a non-slip mat, that's really, really comfortable, then you are much more willing to do your mobility work. So it doesn't fit in the bag, but probably one of the most important things to be in your mobility arsenal. The next thing does fit in the bag, which is good, because it kind of is the whole point of this video. So the next thing that I'm doing here, foam roller. Now, I've got two different types of foam roller, and I'll show you both. This one, which you can see nice and clearly here, and this one, which is a beautiful orange one. So they look slightly different and they are useful for slightly different things. So this one is a lot softer, it's more of a typical foam roller, got quite a bit of give in it. I would recommend that if you've never done foam rolling before and you're looking to buy a foam roller, buy one like this. It's a lot softer, it's going to be a lot less painful, and for the areas where you are getting a lot of discomfort when you are doing foam rolling, this is going to be the one that's going to help you kind of break down that initial barrier of getting your foam rolling done. If you're kind of experienced foam rolling, you've done it a bit before, or your muscle's not in that bad a state, then you can jump straight into one like this. And this one has knobbles and it's a lot harder and it's going to be a lot tougher when you're rolling. What you can do, which is what I do, is use both. So for muscles that are a little bit more tender, or a little bit kind of would prefer the softer one. And for muscles that are a little bit harder and a little more resilient, I'll then go for the bobbled one. So in terms of foam roller, I just recommend kind of starting with this and then going for one of these. These are obviously nice and short. You can get double length ones, which are also useful, and you can actually get even shorter ones than this as well, only 30 centimeters if you want to have it for travel or doing different things. But an absolute fundamental if you're looking to improve your mobility and the quality of your muscle. So moving on to the next one, we're going to do a bit of a lucky dip into the bag and see what comes out. Okay, the second biggest thing, peanut ball. So very, very similar to the foam roller. You can see here it's kind of similar material, it's just a little bit harder than the foam roller. But it's got a real unique property, the fact that it's gapped in the middle and then raised on both sides, which means for certain muscles, this would be a lot better than the foam roller. So for me, I like to use this on the back. I think it's great because it just misses out the spine area. The target's on both sides of the spine, so I use it for that. I also quite like using this on my calves as well, because it kind of follows the direction for the calves. And I also use this on my quads as well, because I'd like to kind of really get deep into both sides and I can kind of manipulate from both sides. So peanut ball is really, really useful as kind of an extension to the foam roller. It's not absolutely essential. If you have got a foam roller, you can pretty much do most things that you can do with this with the foam roller. But for me, I like to use this on some of the stuff that I do on specific muscles. And which will take me on to my next thing, which is a small peanut ball. So this one, I pretty much only use this in two places. One is right at the bottom of my back, and the second one is up on the neck. So I actually quite like doing a lot of rolling, and when we get onto the other stuff I'll reveal that. I like not doing it from the floor, I like doing it up against the wall. I just feel like I've got more control. It feels like less of a chore to do it. So for this, foam rolling into the back of the neck against the wall, or into the lower back against the wall, for me is perfect. So small peanut ball, large peanut ball, definitely really, really useful, but not absolutely essential. So we'll go back for another lucky dip. See what we're going here. Okay, cool. Loop band. So, loop bands, not necessarily for what you would call typical mobility, but definitely for activating muscles and training in movement patterns. So this can be used in many different ways. You can use it around your knees, for example, if you're trying to practice a proper squat technique. You can use it to kind of activate shoulders, activate small muscles, and use it as a little bit of resistance. Really, really unique bit of kit. You'll see there's a lot on the female Instagram pages for like the booty bands and this type of stuff. Not what I use it for. but definitely got some use in terms of kind of teaching good activation and training activation of muscle. So you normally get these in a set, and I think this has got 5 different resistance if you get it in this set. Really, really useful. If you're struggling to locate good ones, then I'll put a link in the comments below this of where you can buy it on my site. And really, really useful to get a pack of these. Massage ball. So, similar to the small peanut ball, massage ball is really, really useful for self-massage on kind of smaller areas and tighter areas. So for me, I use the massage ball a lot up against the wall. I really like to massage across the back and on the chest against the wall. But then I'll also use this on forearms as well. You've probably seen a video that I've done up on kind of smashing the forearms on top of the forearms using the foam roll as well. I use this quite a lot in the 10-minute mobility videos. So I really like the really firm ones. That's what I prefer. Normally you can get them in a set of 3 with a soft, medium and heavy. For me, I prefer the heavy, hardest one. But you can, if you don't have one, you can also use a golf ball. It's not as good, but you can use a golf ball. For example, if you're massaging across the chest, on the shoulder, or on the forearm, you can use a golf ball as well, but I just prefer using a massage ball. It's just, that's what it's made for. It's always best to have one. Not very expensive, definitely worth getting it. You can also use kind of a cricket ball, a cross ball, something like that. Also great for rolling across the bottom of the foot, which I'll do another video on, which is a great little mobility secret. Okay, next one. So, resistance band. Big resistance band, and I've got 2 of these. So, these are very, 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 very useful. Take a look, remember them. So these can be used for many, many, many different things. In terms of mobility, they can be used for banded distraction stretches. So say for example, best demonstration from here, I can place this on the top of my wrist, have my wrist flat down on the ground in the press up position, have this anchored down behind me, and it's going to distract the wrist joint and allow for better mobilization from the wrist. You can also do the same in the ankle, you can do the same from the hip, you can do the same from the shoulder. So these are really, really useful for banded distraction, but they're also great for home exercise as well. So you're always going to get use out of them. You can kind of hold them onto the back and do a squat, you can do shoulder press, you can hold them onto your back and do press ups. You can use them as extra assistance when doing a pull-up. So many uses for these bands. I only really use kind of this thickness that you can see here, which is like a medium thickness, and a really, really thin one. You can get really, really thick ones, but for the training I'm doing at the moment, I don't really need it. So I've just got these 2, and I only use these at home. But really, really useful resistance bands. Definitely recommend having some of these in your bag. Okay, last one. Resistance band. So this is a different type of resistance band. This is mostly called a TheraBand. You can see it on the kind of the internet. If you look up TheraBand, you would find something like this. So it's a little bit different to the loop band, and it's a little bit different to the other resistance band we had, but kind of put the 2 aspects together and you'll get this band. So the idea is you can use this again for a little bit of activation. You can also use it as a little bit of resistance for doing some training from home as well. But look how small and easy this is just to screw up, throw in your bag and keep. You can use it as part of a warm-up, you can use it as part of your mobility, you can use it as part of your activation, as part of your home strength stuff. It is just really, really useful to have. So I tend to kind of have one of these everywhere. I've got one at home, I've got one in my gym bag, I've got one in my golf bag, and I kind of just always have one carrying around with me because they're so useful. You can do many different exercises with it, and I'll stick another video up of all the exercises you can do with all of these bits of kit. But for something so cheap and so easy, you can get so much stuff done just with this one band. So that is everything in my mobility bag. That has been done for all my stuff. That is not a lot of kit, that is not a lot of expensive kit. Probably to buy all of this stuff, you probably get all of it for around £50, but all of that kit will be absolutely essential for you on your mobility journey, and you'll be able to use all of this kit to get you into the position of being able to play better golf and being able to lift better in the gym and perform better in the gym, which again will help your golf. So I'll do separate videos on all of kind of how to use this kit, but I really recommend that you start purchasing some of this kit to really help you on your journey. If you're only going to buy one thing, make sure it's the mat. This is going to be your biggest asset when starting your mobility. It's going to make it much more enjoyable, much less kind of a torment to lay down on a cold hard floor. So first thing, get the mat. Second thing, I would recommend the foam roller, and then you can start working on the other little bits, maybe the kind of resistance band next, and then look at the peanut balls, massage balls and different stuff. So mat first, then the foam roller, then start looking at the other bits. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you found that useful. And if there's anything else you want me to look at, maybe in a little bit more detail for any of this kit, then let me know.